Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today, Courtney.
Yes, great to be here, Jen.
So, I want to give people a good sneak peek for your talk on the thyroid coming up at the Rebuild Yourself Summit. And I was wondering because you've had a lot of different types of conditions and clients that you've worked with over your career. It's quite prolific. And so, I'm just curious what led you to really focus on the thyroid.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was chronically sick for 8 years, and I had four different conditions that I was told would be lifelong. I also had low thyroid, um, and I wasn't getting answers anywhere, kind of how everybody ends up in the chronic health space. And I started looking for natural solutions. Um, After being so sick, my body got a little bit better. And then I eventually found two women who helped get my body to remission. So I had four conditions. They're all in remission. I don't take any of the medication anymore. And when that happened, I knew I had to give this gift to the world. And so when I started practice, I saw everybody, and we still see everybody. But what I started to realize is that there's an epidemic happening of thyroid dysfunction and thyroid autoimmunity that's happening, and subclinical thyroid issues that people really aren't getting answers from their doctor. And what's been really cool about the thyroid stuff is when somebody's been struggling with thyroid issues, even for a year or 10 years, it's actually quite easy to get them symptom relief because nobody has been helping address why the thyroid isn't functioning. So that's how I got into it because I found this whole subset of people and women who had weight gain and thinning hair and chronic fatigue and gut issues and joint pain um, and no help, not getting any help, brain fog. And what's cool about the thyroid is as soon as you get it some support and you get the inflammation down and you address those root causes, it's remarkable how fast people can start to see relief. And so that's why I chose to go with this subset of people because it's a lot of fun to work with.
Yeah, so I mean, you mentioned some symptoms there, but I would love to hear a little bit more about what might indicate an overlooked thyroid issue that so people are going to their doctors or going to specialists and they're just not they're not realizing that the thyroid might be at the root. What would indicate that?
Yeah, so here are some symptoms that could be going on. And what we call that is subclinical. Part of what happens is you or whoever's listening may have gone to the doctor and the doctor said your labs look fine. And you're actually in a range where in the functional world, ideal health is here. What they're looking at is conventional range. And so you're in what's called a subclinical range. You may be experiencing stubborn weight gain, really low energy, thinning hair, cold hands and feet. You might notice the lateral third of your eyebrows is going away. Um, let's see, did I say brain fog? Joint pain, um, lethargy, not a lot of motivation. And you've tried every diet and your body just won't drop weight. You get dry skin. A lot of people have anxiety, depression. All of these symptoms can come clustered when the thyroid isn't functioning properly. And often it is missed by doctors. And then many times somebody might know I'm hypo or hyperthyroid, and they're given thyroid medication, but that medication is just replacing thyroid hormones. It's not actually fixing the root cause. And what we're going to be talking about is what are all the things? How do we know if we have it? And then how do we actually address those things so that we can start functioning and feeling better again? Because the thyroid medication is just giving us support for the hormone, not fixing why it's not functioning.
Yeah. And gosh, when you say those symptoms, I mean, it feels like, 90% of Americans are struggling with some of those symptoms. And so it sounds like There's going to be people who don't realize they have a thyroid condition because their labs look normal from conventional ranges, who are going to really benefit from this talk. But then also people who know they have a thyroid condition, but they've just been given medication and like then, nothing else is addressed. So you're going to address both of those issues.
Correct. Basically, I say so our thyroid is like the canary in the coal mine, right? It is one of the first things that's gonna wave flags and not function properly, that's gonna create this whole downstream effect of symptoms in the body. And um I don't know where I was going with that, but
Yeah, that's okay. I'm actually curious, are there, so the thyroid is like a metabolic organ, right? Can you, because you're
oh,
talking about all these really different symptoms, and so can
yeah.
you tell us a little bit more about like why the thyroid would affect all those different areas in the body?
Yeah, so I know what I was going to say.
Perfect.
It's the canary in the coal mine. So the person who is like, I have all these symptoms, and the doctor's like, your labs look great, you're okay. You're not crazy. You are literally not crazy. Your body is often not functioning properly. The thyroid is a master and endocrine organ. It affects our thyroid hormones impact every cell of our body. And so when that's not functioning properly, the whole system can't work properly.
Are there things about the thyroid that you feel like are big myths that people don't understand or that you really want people to know?
Yeah. Okay. Are there big myths about the thyroid? That's a great question. Um, A lot of times people think if I just get a thyroid diagnosis and I get on thyroid medication, I'm going to feel better. That's a huge myth, right? Because if you look at if you were to talk to 9 out of 10, and I'm going to say women because the thyroid has it really impacts a higher number of women than it does men. Most of them still don't feel well and they don't understand because the myth was once I get a diagnosis, so many of them have struggled with thyroid issues for 5, 8 years. Then they finally get a diagnosis and they think, oh, yes. And then they give them levothyroxine or Synthroid, or maybe even somebody gave them NP thyroid or Armor. And then it's like, well, I don't feel any better. So that's a myth. Another myth is that it's super complex to fix. It's actually not. Um, just a lot of wrong things could be done. And that's what I'm going to explain to help make it so much simpler. Because there's multiple different things that could be impacting the thyroid. When the thyroid's not functioning, it's not a thyroid issue. There are other things going on stressing it. So your attention actually has to go away from the thyroid onto what's impacting the thyroid that it's not functioning properly.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great point. So you're going to be talking about all the other aspects of the body that can be affecting the thyroid. Yeah, but
Mhm.
people get fixated on this one organ.
Yeah, because you're right, because our thyroid, like an organ doesn't just stop working properly because I don't know, we have bad luck. Like we have a thyroid that's not working. Um, And what is wild over the last 6, 7 years of practicing, we were in labs on people, and the amount of people that come back with thyroid autoimmunity is increasing at a rate that is wild. Almost 80% of people that I run labs on now have antibodies to their thyroid. And many people don't even know what an antibody is. They're like, I don't even know what this thing is. And it's like, how can you get better when you don't even know if you have a thyroid issue, and then you don't even know about antibodies or anything like this. And then once you learn, you're like, oh, this is actually pretty easy. It's pretty simple to understand, and I can get better.
Amazing. Do you want to share any like clinical stories or anything that any experiences you've had with clients that you really want people to know to get excited about your talk?
Yeah. Okay. So let's say somebody has hypo or hyperthyroid, and the first thing I ask them is, do you know if it's autoimmune driven? And they might say, I don't know. Or they might say, nope, it's not. And Actually, most of those people are. So, like 90% of hypothyroid is autoimmune driven, and 70 to 80% of hyperthyroid is autoimmune driven. Um, so, that means it's an immune system issue attacking the thyroid. So, the thyroid hormone is not really going to help. Um, so, many people come to us and they say, no, I don't have autoimmunity, but I have all these symptoms. And then, as soon as we run a quick blood lab and we see that there's autoimmunity, we help lower the immune response and they get symptom relief right away. I have a really cool story. Actually, this year, Valentine's Day, a woman named Joyce turned 70. And a lot of times people talk to me and they're like, but I haven't lost weight in forever. And, I'm 50, I'm 60, she's 70. And she's like, oh, and on our first call, she said, all I want to be able to do is get up and down off the ground so that I can hang out with my grandkids because her knees hurt and her hair was falling out. And anyway, she's been with us for 3 months. She's lost a bunch of weight. She is getting up and down off the floor with her grandkids. But Valentine's Day was her 70th birthday and she ran. Like on her walk, she ran and she sent us a big thing and she said, no pain, no pain, no pain in 3 months after hurting for 20 years. I mean, it's unbelievable. That's why the thyroid is so fun to work with. Um, and weight is often something that happens with people. Another thing that some people may be struggling with is hyper, and their eyes may be bulging, right? They may have anxiety or weight loss. Somebody can also have weight gain with hyper, which they then feel like they're an oddball, but that can be common too. And it's beautiful to help people's eyes not bulge anymore. And it's like when you heal the thyroid, they get their whole life back. It's like life comes back to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so beautiful. So, do you want to share anything in particular about the talk you're going to be giving and who you want to come and what people can expect?
Yeah, so if you are struggling with symptoms, like any of the ones I listed, weight gain, thinning hair, fatigue, bloating, joint pain, and you wonder, like, could a thyroid issue be part of me? Or if you have hypo or hyperthyroid, this is a perfect place to come. What I'm going to explain is what is what is thyroid issues. So it's an education. What is it? How do I know if I have it? What labs do I need that the doctor probably has missed? And what are the different root causes? What's driving this so that you can take that information home and actually do something about it to start bringing down the fire as to what's stressing the thyroid? Because remember, it's never about the thyroid.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to be there taking notes. I'm so excited to have you, and I think people are going to get so much incredible information out of such a misunderstood topic. So, thank you so much for being there and sharing.
Yeah, thank you very much.